The problem with creating a habit is that it requires you to keep doing the same thing over and over again in order for that habit to stick. So that's what we're doing. We might have skipped a week, but we're still making the video anyway, as if nothing happened, because I want to keep that habit going, even if real life gets in the way of what I need to do for the algorithm. So, hello, and welcome to another edition of the EgoWorks Artist Studio Vlog. But welcome to episode 9. And if you are new here, if you hear any odd noises in the background, that is because I share my office space with a parrot and 2 parakeets, and they do whatever they want, especially when I start recording. If you are especially new here, hello, my name is Daphne Lage, and I am a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I am known for my fantasy comic, Tall Tales, and my medieval fantasy comic, Ego Raven, Ere the First Unicorn, which I am currently fulfilling right now, which is the reason why I did skip a week to get this video made, because once those Kickstarter books come in, that becomes the priority until I get the last book out. I did get most of them packed up, so I will be obviously recording this video. And also, if you kind of notice some weird stuff going on with the camera, I finally figured out, i.e., read the instructions on how to use the gimbal that I'm using. And now it's kind of supposed to be working the way it's working. And I got the app connected to it, and I am finding all these features that I didn't know that it could do, and now I do. This is kind of like the first vlog that I'm using some of these features for. One of them is face tracking. Every time I move, the gimbal moves with me. So I don't know how this is going to look on your end, but I'm going to find out when I edit this video whether that's too much of an annoying feature. So we have 2 weeks to catch up with. If you don't know, I use these vlogs to keep track of all of the artwork that I have been completing. And in this case, it's going to be all the artwork that I completed in the last 2 weeks as opposed to the last week. So the first piece that I finished in these 2 weeks is a House of Bob commission. I really like the way it came out. I've been really getting the hang of using the Copics. It's still not quite where I want it to be, although honestly, I'm not really sure how I want it to be, but I'm very happy with the way the piece came out, and so was the commissioner. In fact, he was thrilled to get a traditional upgrade as opposed to the original digital version he was supposed to get. I'm happy that he's happy, and I'm happy about it. So it's all win-win all around with this piece. So now that just leaves me with one more commission to go before I can completely close out the House of Bob campaign. And trust me, I really want to finally close out that campaign. I did run the campaign back in October, so I really don't like the fact that it's taking me this long to finish it, but that's just what it is. The second piece that I completed, actually, it's more of a completion of a series. I finally finished all my boys. I finished all the male mascots for House of Bob, 5 wolves and 5 unicorns. Along with completing those mascots, I completed the first mascot for the females of House of Bob. This is a piece of Samira, our main mascot slash hostess of House of Bob. And this is what she looks like as part of like the new House of Bob multiverse or whatever we're going to call it. So, what's really funny is that for the longest time, I had no idea like what to do with House of Bob outside of okay, it's just going to be a repository for all my adult furry artwork. So I'm just going to be putting out sketchbooks, nothing really related to that. But after it was decided that what we needed was mascots, and I finally did the first mascot, now it's all kind of coming together. Like now I kind of understand. I say kind of because it's not quite there yet, but now I feel like I'm on the right road with House of Bob and what I want from it and how I want it to represent the work that I'm presenting under it, or how I want my work to be presented by this. Once I put the three main mascots together, it all made sense to me. Branding is tricky. It's a lot more tricky than I expected. But now I understand the importance of branding. It really does focus you in what is going to go under that brand. So, along with finishing the main male mascots, I also went ahead and made two bookmarks based on the mascots. So, one is, as you can see here, you have the one bookmark that has all the wolves on it, and you have the other bookmark that has all the male unicorns on it. And the unicorn bookmark has I'm here for the horny guys on the back. And then the wolf bookmark has all about that not life as opposed to nightlife. Get it? Haha. So, so I will be taking these with me to Monsterotica. But the more exciting thing that I'm going to be taking to Monsterotica with these mascots are the two stickers. So I narrowed down which two designs I was going to do as stickers because stickers are expensive. Even though sticker app I think is pretty reasonable, if you do too many of them, it adds up really quick. So I had to choose two. So I figured since this was a book convention that I was going to, I might as well make the two bookish mascots into stickers. So the first one is who's your alpha daddy? And then the other one these are so stupid. The other one is horny reader. Considering what Monsterotica is about. So I thought that these came out really cute. I will be taking these to Monsterotica in May just to trade with other con goers and just to kind of get an idea as to how people feel about things like these and whether I should expand on this more. For some reason, I kind of doubt it, but even if they at Monsterotica don't seem to like latch onto these, I know plenty of furry people. So I'm not that worried. I would like to test out some standees, double-sided standees for these. I think that it would be like a natural next step for these, having the bookmarks, having the stickers, and having standees. But that's I'll probably order that in the next couple of days. I haven't decided yet how I want to do them. So the other artwork that I was able to do these past 2 weeks is more pages for Ego Raven issue 10, which I am still looking to launch sometime in April. Although even though I have a very specific date for launching, I might have to push it back a week because I don't know. It's like this issue has been kind of slow going for me. We're at the point of the story where a lot of characters get introduced in or are getting introduced in. And now it's like all the panels are going to be a little more complicated. And for some reason that slows me down. We were able to get Eagle Raven issue 10, pages 15, 16, 17, and 22. So I'm working on another page, which will put me at 18, 19 pages total. There is a pre-launch page for Eagle Raven 10 if you want to go ahead and click on the link in the show notes so that you can hit the notify me button on the pre-launch page so that you get an email from Kickstarter when the campaign goes live. But I forgot that I did one more piece for House of Bob. It's kind of like slash fan arty, but it is fan arty, but it's not because it's not the character. It's fan arting. It's just this. And of course, there is a variant on Fur Affinity if you want to check that out as well. This was me playing around with the idea that I had brought up on the last video where I was talking about doing 5 cryptid slash monster smut trope characters and just doing 5 mascots from that. This was the first one. And then I started a next one, which was for an orc, which I like the way that one's coming out too, but it's really showing me very, very quickly that this is not the route I want to go in the end. They're too specific to the Monsterotica crowd, and I don't think that they'll cross over well with furries, which is what I need these mascots to do. So I'm going to leave it at the 2. I'm going to go to Monsterotica, kind of suss out the vibe there, and see if it's worth continuing the other characters that I kind of have an idea from. But so far, I got kind of like the novelty out of my system, but it's not, I'm not clicking with it. So those are the pieces. Yeah, that's the artwork pretty much that I got done in the past 2 weeks. And there was one thing that, going back to the very first marker piece from House of Bob, I've been working with Copic markers, finally getting the hang of it. I keep remembering, or more like I keep being haunted by this blog post that Colleen Duran had posted. She's made it very clear how much she hates these markers. She hates any alcohol-based markers because they're not archival. They do have a tendency to fade if you're not careful with the pieces. I know that many a time I've done, what are those color charts for markers, and within a couple of days, especially in this office, which acts like a greenhouse, supposedly I have like UV coating on the windows. Everything in here fades. My books are wrecked because of that. But especially with original artwork, I made that mistake once. I did a Rocket Raccoon piece that I really liked. I put it on my shelf, and it wasn't in direct sunlight, but the problem is that this room gets enough sunlight that within 6 months, the colors were not the colors that I started off with. They started off as very vibrant, and by the time I noticed something had happened, the colors had faded to a pastel. I did end up putting the piece away, but luckily I have a scan from it. So I'm not really that torn up about it, that the colors faded. So Colleen Duran had written another blog about her hatred of these markers and how she considered it unethical for artists to create pieces, especially commissions, using these markers because they're going to fade. They're going to fade, and the people paying any dollars for this artwork, unless they really know how to take care of these things, and even if they don't, they paid for artwork that's going to fade, that the integrity of the piece is going to be very finite. That kind of bothers me, but at the same time, she's outnumbered by the amount of professional artists who do use markers, Copics, Prismacolors, and alcohol-based markers. And they do commissions with them. And they do sell these pieces for premium. I remember asking Joe Linsner, because he was showing a process of his, and he uses Copics. He uses Copics and then he digitally enhances the pieces. And I asked him, how do you keep these pieces from fading? And he goes, he's never had a problem. But then again, he also said that it's like, yeah, usually I finish the piece and they go into a portfolio. And he says, I've never had a problem with the pieces fading. This is Joe Lisner. The thing is, though, is that honestly, me, myself, aside from that one piece, I've never had a problem with my pieces fading either. I have sketch covers that are still just as vibrant as the first day I did them. Now, granted, I know better than to display them in this office. I do not display original artwork anymore. I only display prints. Is it really that big of a deal for me? Should I be warning my commissioners about how to take care of these pieces? I mean, I think in the end that should be its own good idea. Like maybe I should put little cards with the original pieces going, this is how you take care of your piece. Please keep it out of UV and don't hang it next to a heater or an air conditioner. I do use pretty much acid-free paper, to do the pieces on. So there's that. But the thing is, I like using these markers. I like it better than having to learn watercolors. I've tried using watercolors before, and it's like they're a bit tedious. And I like the way markers just work straight out of the pens. I really don't want to stop using them. But is it really a problem? If you're a commissioner and you buy traditional artwork, do you pretty much already know how to take care of these pieces and not putting them in direct sunlight? Another thing that I was thinking of doing is, especially with all these pieces for House of Bob, I do have scans of everything, just sending everybody who got a commission from me, a color commission, just sending them a digital file. And it's like, look, due to the nature of the materials, here's a digital file in case you ever needed to print it out, or you'd rather print out a print to hang on your wall so that you can put the original away, so you don't have to worry about damaging the original. I don't know. I'm still kind of trying to decide how exactly I'm going to move forward with that. Although it doesn't sound like I have to think a lot, because it just sounds like, just give everybody digital files that they can print and little instruction cards with the originals, just to remind them to be careful with how they display the piece. So I think I just solved my own problem. I don't know. What do you think? Tell me in the comments below what you feel about our artists using markers to color commissions. Sometimes can be hundreds of dollars. So that's my thoughts on the whole thing. Thank you so much, everybody. So if you made it to the end of the video, put the little painter emoji in the comment section so that I can see how many people actually made it to the end. So, and if you did make it to the end, thank you. You could be anywhere else, but you decided to spend this 20-ish minutes with me, listening to me ramble. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. And if you want to learn more about me and my artwork and everything else that I'm doing, including my Kickstarters, you can head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com. That's EGOWORKS, where you can find links to all of my social media. And remember that you could also check out EgoRaven on Webtoon as well. EgoRaven updates every Tuesday on Webtoon. And you could also check out Tall Tales on Webtoon if you prefer your comics to be more of a furry Lord of the Rings adventure instead of a drama. So, and also remember too that EgoRaven issue 10 is on pre-launch on Kickstarter. Yeah, so that's it for me. And I will see you next time.